Hi, welcome to Facebook Live. Tonight I'm here with Mike Haracz, or like we like to call him, Emma's dad. And I appreciate you, Mike, being with us tonight. You're a research and developmental chef. Can you please tell us what that is?
Sure.
And what's your nutritional background?
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know that the job I have exists in real life, so I am a research and development chef. So I work in the food manufacturing world to help develop food items for supermarkets, chain restaurants, schools, hospitals, you name it. And I actually have degrees in culinary arts and culinary nutrition from Johnson & Wales in Providence, Rhode Island. So with a culinary nutrition degree, if I wanted to do clinical work, I could have been a registered dietitian, but I got into the product development side of things. And I still use the nutrition knowledge to develop all different kinds of products for all different kinds of people.
And we know that nutrition is a very personal subject. Do you have some key points that you would like to discuss with us before we talk about kids' nutrition?
Absolutely, because we know everybody has their opinion on this subject. So the first rule in my book is no matter what I say, no matter what your health-conscious family or neighbors or friends say, no matter what internet nutrition person who is either trying to sell you things or says that they're super knowledgeable, no matter what they say, you listen to your doctor, your kid's pediatrician on any topics involving nutrition. And if you are struggling or there are very serious nutritional issues with your children, you may need to talk to a nutritionist, dietitian, or something in that regard. But do not go on WebMD. Do not say, well, somebody told me this is what I should do, so I'm going to do that. Your doctor and your child's pediatrician has numerical, testable data, blood work, family history, knows how much your child weighs and how their development has been going. So that is the person you listen to, even if grandma says this is what it should
Right.
you should do. Listen to your doctor who has that info, and certainly you could implement some of your opinion there. But there's a couple more. We have to accept people's opinion on this topic as well. So you may want to provide a gluten-free, organic, all-natural, non-GMO, hormone-free, all of the things that you want to provide for your child. Awesome. We accept that. You also have to accept other families and other people might think a little different, whether that's due to religious reasons, whether that's due to food allergies or sensitivities. We accept everyone's opinion on that. And the final thing is we are not going to villainize anybody due to income level. You may be able to afford the all-natural, organic, non-GMO, free-range, gluten-free thing, but there are so many people and families and single parents that struggle to get enough calories for their children. So we are not villainizing more affordable options if those families are just struggling to feed their children. So we kind of frame it in that way that if you have the means to do it a certain way, awesome. If you don't, again, we are not going to villainize anyone for making any of those dietary choices.
Okay, so let's talk Nutrition 101. What are a few key points we want our parents to understand in general about nutrition?
All right, so there are probably plenty of parents and families who are even more knowledgeable than me on the subject. So we are just going to really talk about 2 or 3 main topics. First is macronutrients. That is your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates. And then we are also going to do, a little discussion on just calories in general. That would be considered your macronutrients. If those are not in line, if you are not getting the appropriate macronutrients, don't even worry about vitamins and minerals and all the other little things. You need to worry about the macronutrients first to make sure you're hitting those numbers. And then if you would like to get more detailed on supplementing with vitamins, things of that nature, you could then get there. You don't necessarily have to worry about that as much as long as they're hitting their macronutrients. But that is where the doctor comes in. If they are certain vitamins and minerals that they are not getting in their diet, that is going to show up in the doctor's office. So then you can address it and make nutritional adjustments kind of there. We do sort of the other big point that we want to discuss is calories and caloric density. This is sort of the easiest way to look at nutrition, is how calorically dense is a food. So fat has about 9 calories per gram. Carbohydrates have about 4 calories per gram. Protein has about 4 calories per gram. So when you are looking at calorically dense food, really fatty foods have a lot of calories in them. That also includes things like peanuts, peanut butter, obviously olive oil, things of that nature. That is pure fat. It is calorically dense. Some of those have other issues, whether it's cholesterol in animal fats like butter. So olive oil might be, if you have cholesterol issues, you might want to switch to that. But butter and olive oil have the same amount of calories. So as an adult, if you're looking to lose weight and you think just switching from butter to olive oil is your solution,
Not gonna happen.
there are other health benefits, but usually you want to lose weight in the form of fat, so you might want to reduce calories in that manner. And then I think we touched upon macro before micro. So, certainly individual children at different stages of development, whether they're newborn, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, as they grow and activity level, those macronutrient requirements change. So I cannot sit here and say your child needs this or
Right.
that. There is certainly a minimum calorie threshold that you want to hit to support growth of your child. And this is again my opinion, you can have a totally different opinion. Fed is best get enough calories, but we'll talk into some other kind of ideas on how to easily incorporate a more holistic diet for your child.
Okay, so how does this relate to reading an ingredient statement and nutritional facts panel?
Perfect. So ingredient nutritional statements on packaging is incredibly important to just know how to read it. It will tell you how much of the food item is in your package, as well as serving size. So when you look at that cereal and Cheerios says 140 calories for a serving, the box contains 8 to 10 servings, you then can start doing math and say, like
Right.
that huge bowl that I eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I'm eating a lot more calories than I think,
Right.
because you have to understand what that portion size is. And then when you look at your macronutrients, so the big things you're going to want to look at are protein, carbohydrates, and fats. You will start seeing that the amount of carbohydrates multiplied by 4 calories per gram, all of the calories in the food item, okay, that is where it's all coming from. So then you can understand the macronutrient breakdown of the food you're eating. Then there is the ingredient statement portion, which are all of the things that are in it. Now, me as a food industry person, I know what those things are, what they mean, the chemical sounding name. You do your own research on those ingredients, on what you want to have in and want to have out. Again, with my background and history, I develop foods for whole foods, all natural, clean label is what they would call it, preservative free, free from colors and dyes and all the things. The same person, me, also develops the very affordable Walmart macaroni salad filled with all the things that you may not like. Again, we're not villainizing either one of those. It's up to you to decide how you want to feed yourself and your family.
Right.
But that ingredient statement, it is written in order of predominance in a food item. But there are going to be things in there that you've never heard of. So sodium acid pyrophosphate and sodium bicarbonate. What are those things? That is baking powder. Those are the chemical components of
Okay.
baking. So you might not know that that's what it is. You use baking powder regularly. We're not villainizing anything, but you can make the decision based on that knowledge. And just knowing how to read those ingredient statements on packaged items will help you make those informed decisions for your family.
Okay, so let's get into some tips for mealtime.
Perfect.
We know some parents really struggle with this. How is your experience at mealtime, and what are some things that we can do to make it a positive, healthy experience for our kids?
Well, hi, Sophia and Emma, and hello to my wife. Our mealtime is not great. I have a culinary nutrition degree, and I am a chef, and I have cooked all the things all the different ways, and I have some very picky eaters who I have to remind every bite, eat your food, almost every bite. They do not necessarily eat a wide variety of food items, so a trained chef is making buttered noodles pretty regularly and canned green beans because they don't like the texture of fresh ones, and the type of fruits that they eat are very limited. So take it from me, I know how much of a struggle it is. That is why certainly fed is best, but a couple tips that kind of will help alleviate the big stress of making sure you're doing things right. One of them is eat all the colors. Kids love different color, crazy colored things. So not only does that look nice, that is a strategy to eat a wide variety of food items. Not thinking of the micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, and all that, but all of those different colors will help you get a wide variety of vitamins and minerals in your children's nutrition. So as long as they're hitting the macronutrients that they might need, for the most part, eating a wide variety of colors should cover most of the macronutrient needs of your children. So just eat a lot of different colored food items, and that'll help there.
That's a great tip.
Yeah. Let kids make some meal choices. What do you want to have for dinner? When they agree, like, you want mac and cheese today? Yes. Okay, that might make mealtime easier than you're having tacos tonight. Well, that's not what I want. That's too bad. That's what we're making.
Right.
That does make it a struggle with your children there. Fun shapes. You can cut things out. You can use a cookie cutter on your kids' peanut butter and jelly to make a cool shape, a dinosaur, a cool star. Draw a face with fruit spreads and things of that nature, or whatever. That does entice them to kind of find it a little more fun. This is one that my family and me struggle with. Eat with them and set the good example. Hello to my wife again, but she was raised Polish. Meat and potatoes. So getting all of us to eat vegetables at the same time to show a good example, little rough for us. So it does help when you are all eating the same things and showing, look at mom and dad are eating it. I think you should eat it too. Have backups based on macronutrients. So if they do not want that healthy grilled chicken piece, have the dino nuggets as a backup. If that doesn't work, have some yogurt as a backup. Again, depending on your specialty dietary needs, there are plenty of plant-based protein options out there. Things like beans, nuts, all of those also have protein and fats in them. A lot of times children are carb heavy, noodles and fruit, bread, those things they eat constantly. So anytime you can incorporate fats and protein into it would be a lot better. I hide vegetables in foods. If you have a great blender, the marinara sauce for their spaghetti, blend up a bunch of other vegetables in there and hide it in there. Carrots blended up in cheese sauces. So if they will only eat broccoli with cheese sauce on it and you want to incorporate even more vegetables, hide it, puree it up, mix it in a meatball, do whatever you have to do there.
That's a great tip.
And I think one other fun one, which gets a little messy, is if they need to eat like a monster, you let them, go, let's see you eat it, let's go smash it in your face. If you have to go that route for them to eat the macronutrients that they need, let him do it. There was a Christmas Story when he's trying to eat mashed potatoes. Eat like a piggy, and that enticed him to eat the food. If that is what's going to get it done, especially if you're in an area where it's getting serious malnutrition, or you know that they do not have a very varied diet, if it's, let's see who can eat fastest as a game, make it happen. And I think the final one would be reward after hitting your macro needs. So it's not, you better eat that or you don't get any candy or whatever afterwards.
Right.
If you eat what you need to eat from the protein, from your fats, that's certainly the more priority because everyone loves carbs. Once you eat that, then you can have whatever else you want. I need you to eat more protein and eat more fat, and then if you do that, you can have candy, you can have cookies, the Cheetos. I need you to finish this portion first. Just because with my kids, it's a little under eaters. So that is, I want you to eat this stuff, and then you can eat the extra things in the end.
Okay, let's talk some specifics about kids who might be underweight or very picky eaters.
So underweight, things that are everything that doctors and dietitians tell adults not to eat, give that to your children who are underweight. You may need to pour olive oil or melt butter all over the stuff to make it more calorically dense. There is no issue with them eating fattier foods because from a macronutrient portion, if you need buttery cheese sauce over the broccoli, you have turned it into a calorically dense food. If they don't eat a lot, the more calorically dense the food can be, the better, because they're not eating a lot. And during these vital growth development stages, they need a lot of calories to build muscle, bone structure, cognition, all the things that we want our kids to grow up and be healthy. Which again, everything that mom and dad wants to eat, if they need pizza because they don't really eat a lot, let them have the pizza. Certainly candy is not a better option than fruits. Right. Fruit has other health benefits, but also really enjoy the little wins. If you can have them eat a whole bunch of raisins instead of a whole bunch of Skittles and Nerds, that is a much better option. Celebrate the fact that they're going to eat a whole bunch of raisins or grapes or strawberries versus something else. So that, don't feel bad if there's those little things. Oh, smothered in cheese sauce to eat the broccoli. Now they're eating broccoli. Hopefully you can turn them into liking other kinds of vegetables in that manner.
Okay. Now let's flip that. What about overweight kids?
Overweight and overeaters, like me most of my life. Think about the caloric density of foods again. So this is a great diet tip for adults as well. It's basically the diet program is called volumetrics, and that is based on understanding the caloric density of foods. Things that don't have a lot of calories, celery, leafy greens, all of these kinds of things. However, you probably have a pretty picky eater at home, so you are going to want to go as protein heavy as possible. They don't need fat, they don't need carbs. All of that will continue for weight gain. So protein items, have them load up on chicken nuggets as opposed to loading up on fruit or candy or breadsticks or whatever. So lots of yogurts, which can be plant-based or traditional. Lots of chicken nuggets, meatballs, all of these. Try to get them, if they are overeaters, if they like that feeling of being full, try to load them up with protein first before you give them all of the other fun things that they like. The only other portion of nutrition that we didn't really talk about is fiber. So a lot of those leafy greens, a lot of those vegetables have fiber in it, which is very important to not only for proper digestion, but to feel fuller longer. So the more fiber that they can incorporate into their diet from fruits as opposed to candy, from leafy greens as opposed to Cheetos, the more fiber and protein that they can get, the fuller they will be for a longer period of time. and that should hopefully help some things there.
Okay. Are either of these scenarios things we need to be concerned about?
Not a whole lot. So malnutrition during the development of a child is a little more serious than overeating during the development of a child. Yes, having baby weight and excess weight during development phases, you will have enough calories for brain development, bone development, things like that. When it comes to severe malnutrition, that is a little more serious. That is where you are going to want to talk to your pediatrician, a nutritionist, a dietitian, to make sure that you're at least hitting some developmental goals, to make sure that is not affecting their process and things like that. They certainly make products to, let's say, gain weight, beverages for sort of those not necessarily formula but tot style beverages that are calorically dense to help build build your body up and things like that. But unless it is severe cases on either side, it really is not a huge issue as long as your doctor is telling you it is not a huge issue.
Okay. Now, I know we've been talking about kids, but can you give us one diet tip for parents out there?
Yes. And this is super live at Ecole, and they are vacuuming, so we apologize for the but people want to get home. I understand. They're trying to kick us out, but that's all right. So for adults, the easiest one is adults have bad habits. We love eating to deal with our feelings. We love eating when we're bored. We love eating as coping mechanisms for a variety of things, and we don't want to change the things we love. Most adults, I need to go on a diet. Going on a diet does not mean anything unless you put parameters behind it. Most adults who want to go on a diet want to lose weight, and by losing weight, they want to lose fat. That is mainly why most adults want to go on a diet, and they don't want to stop eating what they love. So the easiest thing to do, and this is a habit you need to form, first you need to go buy either Metamucil, a fiber supplement, or I'm a Kirkland man, love me some Costco. They have psyllium husk pills. Okay. That is the active fiber in Metamucil. Train yourself that before you eat or drink whatever you want, you need to pop a couple fiber pills and drink a bunch of water before that meal. That is the only thing you need to train yourself to do. Is I'm going to go to Texas de Brazil for my 40th birthday, and I'm going to eat all the meat. Have a big glass of Metamucil before you go eat that. That fiber will help your digestion. It will help you be fuller so you eat less. It will help you when it is time to go to the bathroom and keep yourself regular. So many benefits from incorporating more fiber into your diet, but it's the habit forming of I need to take the pills and drink the water, because you may get to a point where you're starting to see results and you really want that. It's 10 o'clock at night, the kids are in bed, let's get a whole bunch of buttery pop. Oh, but I got to drink my water and take my fiber pills before. I'm lazy. I don't really want to do that. So I can't eat. You train yourself to pills and water, fiber pills and water before you eat, because then when you do eat, you have a little buffer there. It helps stop insulin spiking, things of that nature. So that is a nice habit to start forming. And then once you see some results, you will see some health and wellness benefits right out the gate just by incorporating fiber, it helps reduce cholesterol and all these things. You're going to, you know what, I could maybe do this. So maybe I'll take my fiber and try to eat a little healthier. Or now that I'm full, I don't need to eat that late night snack. If you could get that habit formed, that is super beneficial for you as an adult. Well, thank you very much, Mike. And I am so happy that you joined us tonight. Of course. Any closing tips for us? Try not to stress, because stress leads to overeating, which defeats the whole everything we just talked about. You're going to self-soothe with a big old plate of bacon or whatever it might be. So try your best. Try not to stress out when your children are super picky and don't want to eat the things. If you have to feed them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every meal, you are getting fat, you are getting protein, you are getting carbs all in that sandwich. It would be great to mix it up, but if you can hit macronutrient numbers for your children, you may need to deal with the micro eventually. You could supplement with a vitamin or things of that nature, but do not be afraid for them to eat the same things over and over and over again, and celebrate the little wins of, how about we try a different flavor jelly this time? Or let's do an alternate almond butter, or they make this Biscoff butter. So my one of my children's friends at school has a peanut allergy, so she can't eat lunch with her if she has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But Biscoff butter, which is made from Biscoff cookies, fantastic, allergy-free, that allows her to eat with her friend, and it allows her to eat lunch more regularly and better because she's in a more happy scenario eating with her friend. So we made that change in order for her to eat better at lunch. That is a little win. Biscoff butter is not the most healthy thing out there, but I want her to get as many calories as she can because fed is best. So those little wins is great in my book.
Celebrate those wins.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you again, Mike. This was very, very informative, and we truly appreciate you coming in.
My pleasure, and I'm ready to help vacuum, and I'll help my
Great.
floors.
All
when
right,
I need
good,
to.
and then we can all go home.
Awesome. And we're pressing buttons now.
Okay.
We can just keep going.
Yeah, okay.
So, some other tips. Awesome. That's the button. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Now we're supposed to
Hit that end button right there.